Anteaters also don't have very good eyesight, but they have very good sense of smell and hearing, so they can be easily startled. And of course, when I said about them and being able to fight off jaguars, I mean, it is quite rare, but they have been known to tackle jaguar to protect their young or themselves. And of course, to me, while they are very strange looking animals, I think personally that they are very, very beautiful. And here is their range. Now, the next animal I'm going to show you is one that has been haunting the waterways of South America since before the dinosaurs. It is the Black Caiman. Now, the Black Caiman is in the alligator family, and you can see from the shape of the snout, because alligators, unlike crocodiles, have shorter, broader and more rounded snouts than crocodiles. And the Black Caiman is the largest reptile in South America. When I say the largest, I mean a fully grown bull can grow to be just over 5 meters in length, weigh 1/4 of a ton, and can bite through the biggest of fish, like my brother going through a packet of Hobnob biscuits. I'm not even joking, you should see him when he gets a packet of those. Yeah, when I said about Caiman being around longer than the dinosaurs, and of course it's in the same family as crocodiles, called the crocodilians, and they've been around on the planet for well over 300 million years, so long before the dinosaurs. And one way they've survived this long is because they are the ultimate killing machines. The Black Caiman is mostly a fish feeder. Like, it feeds on piranhas, catfish, and all sorts, but it can occasionally, but it does hunt mammals and water birds, and occasionally it has been known to be a man-eater, but that is desperately rare. And crocodiles are, well, the crocodilians are known to have been around on the planet for so long because there's one thing they do in like times of hardship, like in places it can be really hot or really cold. All they do is they just go into a burrow underground and can shut down their bodies and just go to sleep for an entire year. It's believed that this trick helped them outlast the dinosaurs and survive the ice ages. As you can probably see here, it looks like its eyes are on fire. Well, that's all down to the fact that, like many nocturnal animals, crocodilians have a reflective layer of cells at the back of their eyes that enhance their night vision, but when you shine a spotlight on them, like many animals that come out at night, they have eye shine, but in crocodilians, their eye shine is bright ruby red. It's almost as if it's a burning hot coal, which is very, very spooky, but also very incredible. And like all members of the crocodilian family, the Black Caiman have many rows of teeth that are cone-shaped. Some are slightly curved and can be as long as my thumb. But also, if a Black Caiman either breaks or loses a tooth throughout its life, one will just roll back into place. And another thing they can do when they're hunting is like they can stay underwater for well over 2 hours And they do that by rationing the oxygen in their blood and shutting their body, their heart, slowing their heart rate down to just 3 beats a minute, which is absolutely amazing. And they can also detect vibrations in the water because of special sensing pits along their jaws that can pick up vibrations in the water. That can be the wake of a fish, an animal drinking at the waterside, or even a panicking, struggling animal in the water. So crocodiles, well, the Black Caiman is the largest reptile in South America and also one of the most incredible animals on the planet. So there is their range. Now, the next animal I'm going to show you all is one of the most famous and probably one of the most feared and notorious fish on the planet, the Black Piranha. Piranhas are found in South and Central American waterways. Black Piranha is the largest of the piranhas. It can grow to an enormous size. It has a burning red eye and teeth as sharp as a surgical scalpel. That it can actually take a human finger off with one single bite. Piranhas are ferocious predators, and they can bite through flesh and even bone like a chainsaw through chocolate. But one of 2 things that have always amazed me about piranhas is their senses. I mean, starters, they have an organ that runs down the length of their bodies called the lateral line, which is laden with hair cells that can pick up the tiny vibrations in the water of like struggling prey, like struggling animals in the water, but also their sense of smell. In fact, like sharks, piranhas can smell a teaspoon of blood in an Olympic swimming pool sized area of water. Of course, black piranhas will eat pretty much anything they can sink their teeth into. I mean, they are cannibalistic, which means they will eat their own kind, but they also they mainly feed on other fish and large birds or mammals that are struggling in the water. And of course, piranhas are known to attacking shoals. Like, they can strip an animal to the bone in a few minutes, and the piranha feeding frenzy is both exciting to watch and absolutely terrifying. And of course, you can go fishing for piranhas, and one method that fishermen actually do when they're fishing for piranhas is to agitate the water, like cause vibrations in the water, so it can mimic another struggling fish or a struggling bird, and the piranhas are more than likely to come in and investigate. Of course, that is their range in South America. And now, the next animal I'm going to show you is the creature that put the creep in creepy Crawly. It is the Giant Centipede, or the Giant Squalopendra. Now, this is the largest species of venomous centipede found on the planet. When I say the largest, I mean it can grow to be over 30 centimetres in length, which is as long as my forearm. And they have right here at the base of the head a pair of legs that have turned into modified claws, and they're attached to a venom gland inside the head. And I actually did a bit of research into these animals a few years back, and because their venom is, well, if I was to get bitten by a squalopendra, it probably wouldn't kill me, only probably, but all it would do is make sure that for the next few days there would be nothing in my world apart from pain. A friend of mine has actually been bitten by a giant squalopendra, and he said it was like having a burning hot needle stabbed into his hand. Pain spread all the way up his arm and into his shoulder, and it made his arm go completely dead. He was laid up in hospital for more than a week with not even the maximum dose of morphine could stop the pain. But of course, these in a few caves in Venezuela, in the northern parts of South America, squalopendra centipedes have been seen in actually hanging from the ceiling of the cave to grab bats as they fly out, and that can be any kind of bat. It can be fruit bats and a micro bat, like bats that feed on insects, or even the vampire bat. Yeah, as you can see here, here's my wildlife hero, Steve Batchel, and he's handling a squalopendra centipede. Now, you can handle these ones, but you've always got to wear like thick garden gloves when handling them. And those long antennae at the front are what the centipede uses to fit as sight and smell and taste, because they don't have good eyesight. So mainly because a lot of the time they live in dark caves, and so it's mainly all about touch. And these centipedes are found throughout the tropics, and they do feed on invertebrates like beetles and other bugs, but they will occasionally take rodents, lizards, frogs, and even venomous snakes, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But yeah, I don't know if I'd want to handle one of these, because the thought of a pain like a burning hot needle as it bites me and being laid up in hospital for weeks with not even the maximum dose of morphine being able to stop the pain, I don't know if I'd want to do that. Here in around Venezuela is where they live. But as I said, they're found throughout the tropics of South and Central America, but these precise ones are found around here in Venezuela. Now, the next animal I'm going to show you is another reptile that has been haunting the waterways since before the dinosaurs. It is the American crocodile. American crocodiles are found along the rivers, estuaries and coastlines of Central and South America, also known as Latin America. That a fully grown male can be as long as a minibus and weigh as much as a car. They live in fresh water and seawater. Their main diet is fish, but they can also hunt insects, frogs, lizards, large mammals like deer and cattle, and every once in a while, big American crocodiles have been known to take people. So these are confirmed man-eaters. And they have, like all crocodilians, they have special sensors along their jaws that can pick up vibrations of struggling prey in the water. And they have a phenomenal bite force. Crocodilians are said to have the strongest bite of any animal alive today. And of course, as you can see here, their eyes glow red in spotlights, like bright ruby red. And of course, as I mentioned before, the American crocodile is primarily a fish feeder, but they will take mammals like deer and cattle, and of course occasionally they have been known to take humans, but that is quite rare, and a lot of the time it's only if people are either being really, really stupid, like going swimming at night in croc-infested rivers, or if they deliberately provoke them. Because that is their range. As you can see, they're also found along Mexico and Florida.